Carley McCord and James Haralson here, post-game LSU versus Texas A&M. They walked away with a W tonight in Tiger Stadium, and then tons of announcements and emotions after the game, starting on the field with the crowd chanting for Les Miles, him being picked up and lifted on the shoulders of players, people crying, sighing, standing ovation, clapping. I could go on forever. Going into his final press conference, Joe Oliva immediately makes an announcement that Les is LSU's coach. He's our guy, and he is looking forward to him coaching, for the rest of the postseason, and then for next year as well. Some shocking news after all the rumors that we've been hearing swirling for the past week. James, what is your reaction, your first reaction to the breaking news?
Well, I'm just kind of trying to process it, because the last 3 weeks we've been kind of on this roller coaster for emotions. Let's just talk about this week alone. Reports coming out as early as Monday that Les Miles was out, that LSU planned to make a change at the head coaching position. Jimbo Fisher was the #1 candidate, and we were hearing stuff as early as yesterday that a deal was actually in place, and there were so many things going on, and that depending on the outcome of tonight, it really didn't matter because Les Miles would still be gone. Then there's rumors out there that a potential deal with Jimbo Fisher fell through, and then of course he goes to Florida State University and tells them that he has no intentions of leaving. You've got all of this public outcry really surrounding this game, and national media pundits coming on and defending Miles. And I think Kirk Herbstreit said that this was the most asinine thing that he's ever heard of, is the idea of LSU potentially making a head coaching change. Then tonight you have just an incredibly emotional atmosphere. Carly, there were some questions about what the attendance would be like for tonight, and it wasn't a sellout by any means, but still a very good attended game, and very loud, probably one of the loudest games that I've ever been to, and it was just incredible. Les Miles tips his hat off to the crowd. It certainly looks like he's leaving just by that, and then of course being able to handle a Texas A&M team that on paper you would think that LSU would win, just because they were tougher on the line of scrimmage. So you had that going on, and then of course the emotional send-off toward the end of the game, and then Joe Oliva kicks off the press conference. That's something that we normally don't deal with, and then of course he announces that Les Miles is staying at LSU's head coaching position. It's just an incredible turn of events, and it kind of blows you away. I think obviously a lot of relief for the Miles family tonight as they found out. Really, I think that they found out tonight after the game that he was going to be staying.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a whirlwind of emotion, and to see the fan support and to see everybody support like that, and to see Les just so happy, with his family and just soaking in the moment. It was definitely something crazy. The craziest thing in my, whole entire sports broadcasting career that I've ever covered. Yeah. Definitely a whirlwind of an emotional. Let's talk about the game though a little bit. Let's talk about the fact that, Brandon Harris struggled offensively. He struggled in the passing game, and it was not an easy win. It felt like it took forever for LSU to put points on the board. Let's talk about that a little bit, about Brandon Harris, and then of course Leonard Fournette breaking the record, being the first LSU player in history to rush for 1,700 yards during a game.
Yeah, it was kind of the game plan that you would expect that LSU would go with going into this game. Texas A&M, they really weren't successful defensively. You would expect that LSU would really ground and pound them at the line of scrimmage, and I think that's what they did. I think toward the end we saw Texas A&M really show their true colors. Texas A&M ranked 104th nationally in rushing defense, so I wasn't really surprised to see Leonard Fournette rebound and have a great game today against Texas A&M. I think that's just kind of what you would expect, going into this game with A&M. Offensively, I think obviously the most concerning point is Brandon Harris in the passing game. We saw that kind of regress a little bit tonight. Not only just bad routes and bad decisions from Harris, but we also saw some dropped passes. So I think that's concerning if you're an LSU fan. But one of the biggest themes that we've talked about really since the beginning of the first part of the season is the fact that LSU, their true identity is to ground and pound and run the ball up the gut. They want to wear you down at the line of scrimmage, and tonight was really where Les Miles and the LSU offense were just in their element, because that's what they like to do. They like to ground and pound it on the ground. But no, not really a surprise for me to see Fournette, have a very successful game tonight.
It's going to be interesting to see what the postseason holds for the LSU Tigers. I'm Carley McCord, James Haralson, live from Tiger Stadium for 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.